Hey there. Welcome to the Pine Island Experience podcast. I'm Joanna Anderson with my husband, Trygve. Each of our episodes will be conversations with fellow Pine Islanders.
The goal of our podcast is to share with you our experiences, what we have found to be fun, and what makes the Pine Island experience so unique.
But as far as the need of a travel advisor, there is so much to know. Every country now has their own visa laws. The ETA has come out for the UK, Israel has one, Australia has one. The ETIAS, which is globally for Europe, is coming out. They've postponed it from last year to this year, and then again now till 2026. When it first came out, the ETA, if you were just stopping in, say, Heathrow, you had to have that. Now they've kind of relaxed that, and you don't need that as a transition. There's so many things to know. So many things to know. Which countries require what? I mean, through the Caribbean, there's several countries that require a visa to get in and out. I mean, I had to do one last week for Curacao, and then they didn't even ask for it. You never know.
That was Darcy Conner, small business owner and seasoned travel advisor, highlighting why having a travel expert on your side is more important than ever. From ever-changing travel rules to the countless options out there, Darcy helps cut through the noise. Whether you're dreaming of a cruise, a custom getaway, or land adventures near or far, she's all about one thing: service, service, and more service. And the best part? She doesn't charge a fee for her expertise. Now let's dive into Darcy's story and discover how she's helping Pine Islanders travel smarter, safer, and with a whole lot more fun. We have with us today Darcy Conner from It's Cruise, Land, and Sea Travel, correct?
Correct.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it. We just want to talk right in the beginning about you, where you were born, where you grew up, and what you've been doing, and then how you found Pine Island. You could take it from there.
Okay. I grew up on Fort Myers Beach, actually. Moved to Oklahoma for a little bit and back to Florida and on the East Coast. And then in 2008 or 9, my husband and I came over to Mattlachey for a weekend getaway and fell in love with the island. And then during 2020, when we were actually looking to buy a house in the Keys. And then we're like, well, it really wasn't anything we wanted. So we started spreading. I said, let's go back out to the West Coast. Looked at Fort Myers Beach. And then I started going up the coast. And we both landed on the house that we're in. And that's in 2020. We came back over to the West.
You went west.
The best.
And when did you discover that you enjoyed travel?
Oh, I've always loved travel. Always loved it. Even as a kid, my dad would take us on camping trips and we would go everywhere. Loved it. Always loved it.
And where have you visited? I know I heard when you were speaking the other night, you visited lots of places.
I have been to a lot of places. It's more about where I haven't been now. I've been to Africa. I've been to Italy, been all over the Caribbean. Dubai, Alaska, all over the U.S. I think I've almost hit almost every state. Hawaii, Costa Rica, Mexico, South America. Yeah, I've been quite a few places.
Can you tell us the journey into the travel industry? What made you, I imagine your love of travel, but what made you?
That wasn't. No, not at all. So I was doing something else for many, many years. And I stopped to take care of Dave's mom. And after she passed, I didn't want to go back, want to do that anymore. So we were just kind of looking around and he actually came home and he's like, I bought you a travel agency. And I said, what? Are you insane? So at the first year, I actually just studied everything I could. Took every course, everything that I possibly could. That was 11 years ago.
And he just knew you'd be happy and you'd be good at it. And
I don't know what he thought, but I love it. I do love it. I love helping people. in a happy way, whereas before it was in a sad way. So I like this.
So we were going to ask why you chose to franchise with cruise planners, but I guess that's really a question for Dave.
Yeah, I didn't choose it. He did. And we actually I went in and talked to them, and they are fantastic at the home office level. The support that they give, the technology, bar none. I mean, I can look up something really quickly for a cruise or a land tour, and it's everything is right at my fingertips as long as I know what somebody's looking for, and send it out, and it is a beautiful presentation.
So it's highly automated.
It is high. Well, I shouldn't say that because I still have to know what I know, but the presentation is just beautiful. It's eye catching. And people like to look through these little tabs and know about all these little nuances of what they're doing. And it's all right there. It's not something I have to put together. I just have to know which one to show them.
In the 11 years, if we look back, like when we were all younger, there were travel agents' offices in almost every mall.
Yeah.
And there was you could drive down the street and see some, and it seems like it's consolidated. And I guess probably through the use of technology
Mhm.
into where there are like franchise opportunities and people can get into it with, without that, the physical overhead, of offices and stuff like that. But other changes that you've seen with it, I mean, is the demand still there? And it seems like are more people traveling now than maybe 5, 6 years ago, or how's that working out?
5, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, yes. Nobody was traveling this time 5 years ago. But as far as the need of a travel advisor, there is so much to know. Every country now has their own visa laws. The ETA has come out for the UK, Israel has one, Australia has one. The ETIAS, which is globally for Europe, is coming out. They've postponed it from last year to this year, and then again now till 2026. When it first came out, the ETA, if you were just stopping in, say, Heathrow, you had to have that. Now they've kind of relaxed that, and you don't need that as a transition. There's so many things to know. So many things to know. Which countries require what? I mean, through the Caribbean, there's several countries that require a visa to get in and out. I mean, I had to do one last week for Curacao, and then they didn't even ask for it. You never know.
Those nuances, because to your point, originally, I think the UK said if you're just changing planes, you still had, which seemed like a revenue grab. Sorry to be cynical
It
about
is.
it.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. Why not? But it's not just the ETA though. If someone we've had this issue now happening more and more, someone Googles a cruise line or an airline, they're getting some random person that actually it's a fake website. It's a fake phone number. They're all of a sudden this person is giving them their information about their flight or their cruise or oh, you now owe $500 on your booking because of whatever, and it's going to cancel if you don't pay it, and then they pay it, and we're like, who did you call? You just got scammed. It's more prevalent. The internet is not your friend. It is not your friend.
Are you having to deal with the real ID cutoff now? I guess, I mean, that's been out there years and years and years. But now I guess TSA, like the deadline's hit and they're pretty strict about having that.
It is. People can travel with their passport, or they just go through more security. So really, it's to not have to go through that extra security step.
I don't know if you saw this. There's a new internet rumor that all you have to do is show your Costco membership card.
Please don't do that. Please don't show up with that. You're going to go through more security. But the real ID, if you just go down, I had to renew my driver's license. I forgot, and I sat in there for a few hours, and they did it right away, right here. I mean, it was pretty quick and easy, painless.
So what's the best part of helping people with their travel plans? I mean, you've obviously been a lot of places. Do you kind of remember where you were and the things you liked? Or is it like, I would hope or assume most people are kind of excited about the trip and looking forward to it. So how does that part work out?
I do remember a lot of places I've gone to, but helping people, it's so much. It gives me pleasure to see that they're really full of life, wanting to go experience something new, especially if I've been there. Like I'm a Alaska destination specialist, and I love Alaska, and I love to share that experience with people. So, and it's a huge, there's so many things you can do to go to Alaska. And I'm not going to go through that here, but there's a lot of ways you can see it. So it's interesting to walk people through their options, their excursions, their wants, their needs, what they don't like. I really do love that.
I think you're right about Alaska. It was fabulous. Every excursion, and we're not huge excursion people, but we took advantage. Oh my goodness.
Look, and you know what? There are a lot of places. If you're going on a cruise, honestly, there's a lot of places you don't have to. So I can tell people and walk them through some of their options. Or if they want to do, say, walking on a glacier, you absolutely need an excursion to do that. You have to take a helicopter up there. And then some people, oh, I don't want the helicopter. I just want to walk on a glacier. I'm like, well, then you can do Mendenhall and take the skiff out there and they'll walk you through there. Some people have their own fears and that's warranted. And then some people want to just do it all.
It seems like cruising, you mentioned that, is more popular than ever, at least right now. There's been a spike in it, and then governments are raising port fees. So are you facing some sticker shock on that, or are people like, do you still see the demand like you have? Because I know you listed that you support all cruise lines and
I do. I support all of them. There's some that I like that I personally like, but that's not my job. My
Mhm.
job is to fit the guest with the right cruise line. Are they partiers? Do they want more adult alone time? Do they want to relax? Do they want to go, go, go? I mean, do they like big ships? Do they like small ships? Right now, what's coming out are the larger ships. The largest every year is a larger than the last. So, but that's what some people like. So I'm seeing the port fees issue hasn't really come up yet because I think it's been wrapped in. This
Mhm.
is just a recent. So coming months, we'll see what happens. But the demand is there.
It's interesting too because, it's difficult in today's day and time, but each cruise line kind of has its own vibe or its own character, whatever you want. And I get where they can't say this is who we cater to and this is who we don't want, but we have a favorite line, and people go on and they'll say, "Well, I didn't get to do this, and I didn't get to." No, it's not a line. To your point, it's not a partying line.
Mhm.
It's a far more relaxed, and we always joke we go on it because we're the youngest people on it. And so there's not crowded lines when we get on and off the ship. But to be able to provide that advice so that, because no vacation's cheap anymore, to be able to spend wisely with that
Correct.
kind of like, this is the kind of thing I enjoy doing. This is the thing I don't like. Where should I spend my money in terms of a cruise line?
No, you're absolutely right. It's about fitting the guest with the right line. And that's bottom line. And if they come back and so I had a client that loved one particular line. They heard and they're in their 70s. They heard so much about this other line and they went and they're like, "Yeah, that wasn't for us." And I said, "Well, there you go. Now you know that you're going to stick to what you love
Mhm.
instead of wander off." And that's fine, you know? And people they build loyalty too and loyalty points to a specific line and I have a lot that are diamond plus in various lines.
Yeah, they're going to lean to that.
They're going to lean to that because they're getting the extra benefits
Sure.
that their loyalty gives them. So, and they know it works for them. So they wandered off to an adults only smaller line. They were not
Like, where's the fun?
they were not happy.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of fun on that though. There's a lot of fun on that one, but they were not it wasn't for them.
This is more of an aside, but there's some YouTubers that will cover the cruise line industry. And
Mhm.
some of my favorites are people will book a cruise in and around spring break, and they're surprised by the volume of children for those lines that have children, or the holidays, and they're surprised that families, sometimes multi-generational families on the ship. It's like, did you look at the calendar? You know?
I
So I
know.
mean, there's the nuances too about best time to go, like, which cruise line does what part of the world maybe a little bit better than somebody else. All those things kind of factor in.
And that's the thing. So people think spring break, oh, it's only that 1 week. No, spring break is from the end of February all the way into April,
Mhm.
depending on where they live in the country. And you're going to have people coming from everywhere. And then you also have the Europeans and coming over and the Canadians, and so they have their own timeline. It's a huge, and then you have the summer, then you have every weekend that there's a holiday that the kids are out, and then you have the holiday. So the best time to go depends on what your schedule is. So if you're flexible, we can make that work. If you're hard to a school calendar or something like that, it's what it is. And I feel for some people, and I tell them, I was like, you realize, especially because I have a lot of senior clients, and I let them know, okay, well, just so you know, that's a spring break or that's summer vacation just let out, and that's a huge week. That first week of summer vacation, not so much later.
Mhm.
Maybe 4th of July week is large, but it kind of tapers off. You have that one big first week, and then of course the holiday week. It's not just Christmas; it's Christmas all the way through New Year's. Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, so I mean, it's all about educating people too.
Now, you started a travel club
I
on
did.
Pine Island. That was very smart. Now, what sparked that idea?
A lot of us like to travel together, and it's so much more fun when you're traveling with a group of like-minded people who want to experience something. I I can't tell you how many times I've gone away with a group of people, and it's just so much fun. And I thought, why not do it here?
And did you get a lot of feedback after that meeting? It was jam packed, standing room only. I think
Yeah,
people were turned away, and then the wonderful refreshments by Lisa. I mean,
yeah.
it
Lisa
was
at Salty Girls.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was a great. We so I gave a questionnaire about destinations they want to see first or what was the top. And so Ireland hit first, the national parks hit second, river cruising hit third, and then it just kind of went through there. So I'm actually putting together Ireland. I picked a date and then realized shortly after I was encroaching on an event on the island, and that's not anything I want to do. So I'm in the process of moving it to the mid to end of April of next year for Ireland. I would have already had that out, but I had to go back and change the date and change everything. Whoopsies. I definitely, so that's another thing as an agent. I also bring awareness to our island and what our island has to offer and everything that we've gone through and the recovery of it. I mean, this island is just so beautiful. There's so much to see and do here. So if we can bring vacationers here too, that would be wonderful.
Most we when we first discovered Pine Island, most people hadn't heard of Pine Island.
Yeah,
It's
most
it's
people
a
still
hidden
don't.
secret.
It's beautiful in its own way,
Hmm.
being a secret, and then it's a secret, and you're like, oh wait, nobody's coming.
True.
Bring awareness to this little side of Lee County.
So with all the options out there, there's obviously most hotel chains, most cruise lines, resorts, etc., have their own online booking, or there's the other agencies. What do you feel like you do that helps you, separate and sets your service apart from somebody just sitting down and doing it themselves, for instance?
You just said it's service, so I'm available. I do have office hours, but people will call and text me, and I respond. I offer all kinds of information about where they're going, what they're doing. A lot of times I will have group rates that will far exceed that of what they're going to get anywhere else. And then our system, I was talking about our technology earlier, if there's a price reduction before final payment, I will automatically go in there and do it. As long as the amenities that we're giving, sometimes you get up to $1,000 of onboard credit. So if I'm not getting rid of that onboard credit, I definitely am going to get you the price reduction. So I kind of weigh the benefits of staying at the price point or getting the lower rate. It just
Well, they appreciate it, I'm sure.
I know they do. No, so it essentially it's service, service, service. It's I'm not taking orders. I'm also giving you feedback on what you're asking for, and me knowing you. So if I know you like to do one thing, but you're asking for this particular line, I'm like, I don't think you'd like that because, and I tell them why. I think be better off. People see things unless they're wanting to go specifically to certain destinations and that line is the only one that does it. I set that expectation and that's really what it's about. You nothing worse than having somebody come back and they had a miserable time because I didn't do my job.
Any good stories you can remember about where somebody asked you for something, you provided the advice, and they picked something, and they came back and they were, just like blown away, or said it was really great, or showed their appreciation, post trip. Yeah, that was everything she said and more.
Yeah, I get that actually all the time. I do get that all the time. I have people that are just ecstatic. They refer their friends to me. I get gifts, and I don't ask for any. I don't want any gifts. Please don't send me things. I appreciate it though. I really appreciate the sentiment, but that's not why I do it. I do it to make their experience and their memories last forever in a positive way.
I saw all your reviews and it goes on and they were wonderful.
And I like that too. They write me reviews. I do have a lot of reviews.
And you give them such a personal touch. You
I
can,
try to.
yeah, it
I try
shows.
to.
And being in love with your job, I can tell. I mean, that's going to make all the difference too, the way you
Yeah.
take care of people. And you travel too while you're working.
I work while I travel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a full-time. This is a full-time job. This is not well, people think, "Oh, that's a side hobby or this." No, I work probably about 60 hours a week, if not more, and I work while I travel. So, sometimes it's difficult because I don't have the internet connection is bad or whatever, but I do it.
Are you seeing any new trends in travel, or is it pretty much constant? I mean, I know there's various ways to travel with the cruises and the river and the
Well, you have river cruises, you have ocean cruises, and you have escorted tours, and then they call it FIT, which is independent travel. And I do a lot of customized independent travel. And I think it just kind of it ebbs and flows. So
Mhm.
one year I may have a lot more cruisers, and then next year I'll have a lot more land tours. So it just it just depends on what people are looking for. Destination wise, it's bucket lists are still Alaska's huge, thank God, because it's my happy place, which I'm going back to Alaska at the end of the week,
Oh,
so I'll be
wow.
very happy. Europe is huge, Italy's huge, Greece is huge, and Greece is also my other happy place. I've been there a few times. So I'm looking forward to going back. This year, we're going back.
Is like Europe and Ireland, is that family heritage, or do people share with you? Like, or when I first went over there, something over here, if it's 200 years old, we think of it as old.
Mhm.
Something over there, 200 years old, is pretty much brand spanking new. So, is it the history and the culture or family heritage, or do people not share that part?
Sometimes I do. I did get, one person that was going back. They went back to an event, a World War II event that the father, is no longer with us, had experienced, and I tacked on to that and booked them something else too. So, I mean, I it's there. People are going, especially Ireland, Scotland, England,
Hmm.
which most of us have some form of it in us. They do want to go back and see where their family was from. Ancestry travels. I think it was bigger a few years ago. It's kind of tapered off a little.
Maybe when Ancestry came out and it was all the rage.
It was actually really large, yeah. Yeah. But it's really hard to locate your ancestry if you don't have that information.
Exactly.
You have to have that
Even if you
information.
have it, it's
Good luck.
still, yeah,
Other than Alaska, obviously you're excited, and for good reason, about Alaska. Other destinations you're excited to help people go to? Any other
Oh,
favorites?
oh yeah, no, I love Greece. I love Europe. Greece and Alaska are probably the top two that I love the most. Outside of, I did do gorilla trekking in Entebbe, and that was an experience I will never forget. That was huge. That was huge, and that was just so wondrous. Just be closer than nobody could see what we're talking about. Like 2 feet in front of you, this massive. silverback.
Really?
Yeah. And all his ladies and children. It was incredible.
Were you nervous?
I was before we started hiking through, and then I wasn't. We were surrounded by guards too. So, and they would like touch us to make us back up. We couldn't speak, no talking, but they would make us back up if they felt they were getting too close to us. And that was such an incredible experience. And then we did a chimpanzee habituation program where they get the chimpanzees used to human interaction. And in Tebi, in Uganda, it's huge tourism dollars for them. So they put a lot into those programs. And personally, I don't want to do that again. But it was a wonderful experience. But the gorilla trekking, I'll go do that any day of the week.
I was going to ask,
Sign me
like,
up.
were you in a cage? But obviously not if they're telling you to back up and not to speak.
No, we were in the impenetrable forest. We were literally, a leaf would go away, a big leaf would kind of move away, and all of a sudden there'd be this huge gorilla standing right there eating. And it's the thickness of the foliage and the fact that we were just right there. And sometimes you couldn't see them, and then you could. Then they were right in the clearing. Oh, sorry.
They knew you were there.
They knew we were here. Yeah. So that what we do is they give the trackers, they say where that family, each set of people, groups are assigned to a pod of gorillas. And then they track those families. And that ours, they said it was going to be like 2-hour trek, and it ended up not being because they had come down further in the mountain. Thank God.
Yeah.
It was a hard hike. It was a hard hike.
They were
But-
excited to see you.
Oh, we were excited. It was just a wonderful experience. Just a wonderful experience. That was back in 2018.
If people want to get a hold of you for your services and or the travel club, how best do they do that?
They can call me or email me. My phone number is 954-816-9779 or 954-530-2494. Or my email is my name, Darcy Conner @cruiseplanners.com. And it's DARCYCONNER @cruiseplanners.com. And then the website is cruiselandandSea.com.
And the website is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I have nothing to do with it.
No. It's yours.
I know it's the franchise website. We all have the same one. That's part of their technology.
Anything else that you maybe want to talk about the business or the cruise planning that we've yet to ask?
Well, it's not. I don't just do cruises, so
Oh,
I
geez.
think that should be important. I don't just do cruises. I do all types of travel to pretty much any destination you can think of. It's really, I'm just here to help people and make their experience better. That's all.
Well, the custom one sounds very difficult. But how wonderful for people. If they just tell you, I want to go here now, you do it for me. Figure it
Yeah.
out.
Well,
And
they
here's
want
the date.
here, and here, and these are my dates. And I'm like,
Now, how are you going to get?
you may be pulling off too much travel in one little piece of time. So, I mean, but that's part of it. That's part of the service.
It's a challenge.
It is, but I like it. I like the challenge, especially when people are very specific.
Well, thank you so much. This was very enjoyable. I knew it would be.
Aw, well, thank you. I enjoyed myself too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
We hope you enjoyed our Pine Island Experience podcast. If you have any ideas for us, people to interview, or any comments, please feel free to email them to us at pineislandexperience@gmail.com. That's pineislandexperience, all one word, @gmail.com. Don't forget to like us, and you may subscribe to this podcast using all the major catchers like Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks again for listening, and remember, island life is a constant vacation. We'll see you on the next podcast.